Today, I'm going to show you what it's like to drive a 2016 BMW 750i xDrive. But before we drive it, how about we hop into the back seat, because really, that is where you'd want to be spending the majority of your time. So check out this key. This is a $250 option, and it can tell you the status of your vehicle, oil life, service history, when windows are down, whether the car is locked or not. So pretty cool. Whether it's worth $250, I don't know. It's out of battery, so you have to charge it, so the screen isn't even powered on. Now, this has the executive rear seating package. You've got two 10-inch screens in the back. You've even got an iPad-looking thing. It's like a Samsung tablet that pops up, and you can control a ton of stuff, from turning up the volume, changing the radio station, to moving the passenger seat, setting climate control, setting the perfume emitter. Pretty neat. Now, let's hop back into the driver's seat and take it for a drive. Start it up, put the key here. Annoyingly, it chimes over and over and over again until you put your seatbelt on. Obviously, it's important to wear your seatbelt, but it could be a little more patient. Typical BMW shifter, pull this button, shift into drive. Now, this car has 4 different driving modes. Sport, when you put it in Sport, the instrument cluster turns red. When you put it in Comfort, it's kind of a black-gray. And when you put it in Eco Pro, it turns into this kind of futuristic BMW i8 type screen. Then it's also got adaptive mode. This is really neat. So adaptive mode works with a ton of different inputs to change the car's suspension and throttle input settings depending upon what's coming up in front of you. So it monitors your steering input, your throttle, your brake, but it also works with the navigation screen and monitors how sharp the radius of the curves, a couple curves ahead, are, so it can prepare the car to soak up bumps or to firm up the suspension to go around a sharp curve. So we're in drive. Could put it over into Sport. Interestingly, it does not have paddles, unlike the Mercedes S-Class. I'm a little bit surprised, as BMW is normally more focused on the driver experience, but that's all right. It is a 7 Series, not a BMW M3, so we'll put it in Sport mode. A little bit of engine specs for you. It's got a 4.4-liter twin-turbocharged V8, 445 horsepower, and 480 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60 in 4.3 seconds, and it's pretty quick. That is helped thanks to a ZF 8-speed automatic transmission. Otherwise, it wouldn't be able to do that. So 0, floor it. Not going to get to 60 because it's unsafe on this road, but it does pull pretty hard. Now, the 7 Series does not feel like a larger 3 Series or 5 Series in terms of its driving dynamics. Even in Sport mode, the steering is a lot more loose, as is the suspension. Now, it shouldn't feel like those, but all BMWs tend to feel like they drive the same. 7 Series stepped up their game big time for 2016 to compete with the incredible S-Class, and in order to do that, they did need to focus more on luxury. And of course, it has insane technology features. So check out the climate control screen is touchscreen. You can do the heated and cooled seats from here. I've never seen a screen quite that complex for the climate control that is its own little unit here. Now, you can also turn up the climate by scrolling on this. It's a touchscreen as well. I think that's very trick. The graphics in the new infotainment system are far superior than before, and it's actually really intuitive, which is surprising. Who would have thought you could design a system that is intuitive? So you can scroll through with the typical BMW scroller. Let's check out some of the features in the infotainment screen. So of course you've got lighting options, interior lighting, there's ambient lighting, color options, just like the Mercedes S-Class. But unlike the S-Class, it actually has, for the upgraded Bowers & Wilkins speaker system, lighting inside the speaker itself. Check that out. It's like a hurricane tornado type light Looks really, really cool. Accent lighting in the rear. It's got these huge lights that you can see here that light up. Exterior lighting options, daytime running lamps, welcome lights. Lock automatically once you leave after starting to drive. Steering wheel vibration settings. So this has a collision avoidance system, and if somebody if the system detects that there is danger, it can vibrate the steering wheel. Different settings for that. That's nice. Interestingly, it doesn't seem any more sporty than the Mercedes S-Class. It rides and drives in a very similar manner. Let's take it out, put it into comfort. Instantly, you can feel how much it softened up the steering and the suspension. We've got a heads-up display in front of me that shows both the speed limit and your current speed. That's very nice. I do like the BMW heads-up displays. They're simple. They provide the correct amount of information without being too simplistic or overly complex. You know, you can't have too much information ahead of you, otherwise it might be a little bit dangerous. But I'm sure in the future we're going to have our full navigation screen and a ton of options for you to have on the heads-up display. One cool feature is the gesture control. So if we turned on the radio, you can use your finger like this. Well, sometimes you can, and it should turn up the volume. But as you can see, it didn't really work in that instance, so it is a bit gimmicky. I've actually had a little more reliable time with it working than that, but as you can see, it is not working whatsoever. So instead, you can just use the volume controls elsewhere. The 7 Series would be a fantastic commuter car. If you have to drive a long way for business, it is very relaxing. You've got massaging seats, heated and cooled, of course. It's a nice place to be. It is not a sports car by any means. So if you're thinking that this is the ultimate driving machine but longer, it is not. But did BMW step up the game enough to compete with the S-Class in terms of luxury and technology? I think absolutely they did. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like always, please browse our channel and subscribe. Look forward to seeing you next video.